This is TechCrunch. Many users are drawn to social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube to stay up to date on news. But people are increasingly complaining about misinformation and AI slop cluttering their feeds. Worries about trust have also grown, especially in light of lawsuits against Meta related to harming young people and concerns over the ownership of American TikTok. Trust in traditional news outlets has also eroded. A Pew Research study from October found that just 56% of U.S. adults say they have a lot of or some trust in national news media. Enter SaySo, a new short-form video app designed to deliver curated news from vetted creators and independent journalists. It launched for iOS users in the U.S. and Canada this month after a private beta that began in November. The app aims to set itself apart from other platforms by offering a more intentional and personalized news experience that avoids endless scrolling. Now, one of SaySo's standout features is Daily Digest. Upon creating a profile, users can choose topics of interest such as politics, social issues, public health, or crime, and the app curates a set of videos for them each day. This selection refreshes every 20 hours. Now, to explore a broader range of topics, there is an Explore page where users can discover additional content from different creators. SaySo also includes typical features such as the ability to follow others, like, save, comment, and share. Notably, SaySo requires creators to include sources of information directly within their videos, aiming to build trust with users. The app also combines human and AI moderation with source validation to ensure content integrity. Dion Bailey, co-founder and CTO, explained to TechCrunch content does not auto-publish. Everything goes through a moderation queue, so most problems are caught before they reach readers. If something slips through and gets flagged, we investigate, address it directly with the creator, and take it down if it crosses the line. Additionally, SaySo is developing a community notes feature, allowing users to participate in the accountability process through a crowd-sourced fact-checking approach, similar to that of X and TikTok. At its launch, SaySo onboarded approximately 30 creators. Among them is Nico Augusta, who first gained attention with his Stalking the Capitol video series, where he dives into the financial dealings of U.S. Congress members. There's also Dr. Victoria, who focuses on topics related to racial justice and social change, and Isabel Ravenna, an independent journalist with bylines in outlets like National Geographic. On the question of creator pay, Ramin Beheshti, SaySo's CEO and co-founder, says that many creators have come on as founding partners and are receiving a stipend from day one. Over the coming months, the company will be building out a full monetization infrastructure, and when that revenue flows, the vast majority goes directly to creators. Beheshti declined to provide specifics on the monetization infrastructure or what the revenue split will be. Beheshti previously served as Chief Product and Tech Officer at Dow Jones. SaySo is the flagship app of Caliber, formerly known as the News Movement, which was founded in 2022 and rebranded in 2025 to focus on social, short-form journalism. Beheshti said, "We wanted to build a new breed of news product that helped people rather than add to the familiar overwhelm so many of us experience. Overlay that with what building Caliber has taught us about creators and the changing shape of modern media, and we believe we've unlocked something very special." Looking ahead, the company plans to launch SaySo in the UK in the summer, with further expansion into additional markets throughout the year and into 2027. Supply chains are messy. San Francisco-based startup Loop is not content helping companies merely clean up their supply chains. Instead, the startup is using artificial intelligence to offer companies predictive and even prescriptive remedies, almost like an ideal healthcare provider. Loop co-founder and CTO Xiaosu Liu said in an interview, "I do an annual checkup, and it's like, oh, I should be walking more. But that's not the end goal, right? The end goal is someone teaching me about nutrition, someone teaching me about longevity." The approach helped Loop secure a $95 million Series C funding round from some pretty high-powered Silicon Valley backers. The round was led by Valor Equity Partners and the Valor Atreides AI Fund and includes investments from 8VC, Founders Fund Index Ventures, and JP Morgan's late-stage fund, Growth Equity Partners. The funding comes at a time when engineering talent is one of the hottest commodities in tech. Both Liu and his co-founder, Matt McKinney, who met while working at Uber, said they will deploy a lot of that capital toward hiring. But it's also a volatile moment for any company with a global supply chain, and that has helped drive investment into startups that are using AI to adapt. Deliver founder Harish Abbott raised an $85 million Series A round late last year to help automate work done by freight shippers and carriers. A startup founded by former Google and LinkedIn engineers called Amari AI came out of stealth in February with the goal of helping customs brokers modernize their out-of-date systems. And entrenched players like Uber Freight and Flexport are making big AI pushes as well. Loop's pitch is fairly straightforward. The company helps its customers take unstructured data, PDFs with no optically recognized characters, sheets of paper, digital messages, and then give it structure in order to automate tasks. Loop makes the automation possible by developing a harness that coordinates multiple AI models. Some are developed in-house and others are frontier models. This helps Loop customers better identify where they may be losing money or time or spot the risks of over or undersupplying a given product. Loop's co-founders say the system is effective enough that it can save customers thousands of dollars pretty much right out of the gate. But like Liu said, the goal is to go much further than that, predictive instead of just diagnostic. Now, to accomplish that, Loop is starting to incorporate newer types of data from its customers. It is integrating with customers' enterprise resource planning software, transportation management systems, and hoovering up more data from suppliers, warehouses, and other interstitial components of the supply chain. Valor founder, CEO, and Chief Investment Officer Antonio Gracias said Loop went deep into one of the hardest parts of the supply chain and turned it into an advantage for their customers. Through the AI systems they've built, they're taking data that was previously fragmented and inaccessible and are turning it into intelligence that improves cost, processes, and working capital. That foundation extends into other operational and financial functions, which is why Loop is positioned to become the intelligence layer of the entire supply chain. Liu sees Gracias' support of Loop as major validation of the work his startup is doing, considering that Valor is one of the biggest backers of Elon Musk's xAI. In a world where AI startups are constantly looking over their shoulders at the frontier labs while trying to dig a moat, Liu said Valor did very deep diligence around how defensible Loop's business will be. McKinney said he and Liu founded Loop on the assumption that the artificial intelligence technology required to do what they are doing would not be the limiting factor, but he and Liu assumed the technology would not reach that tipping point until around 2030. Things are clearly moving faster than that. That doesn't bother him, he told TechCrunch. Instead, McKinney said it lets Loop focus on doing more for its customers, higher savings, lower risk, broader resilience in an unpredictable world. And of course, he thinks Loop customers are the ones who are most likely to develop into durable businesses, regardless of how chaotic things are at a given moment in time. He said, "Our belief is that this is one of those points in time where the companies that really lean in, their advantage is going to compound. I think the companies you're going to look at in the next decade that survive are the companies that really accelerated in this 12-month period." That's all for now. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.